Okay, I
And
gotta put myself
and we're on.
together. Hello, and welcome to another evening of Dungeons and Dad Jokes. Um, we want you to be a part of this, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and join in the live chat, because several of our group are also in there. So get in there. Let us know you're watching. And be sure to hit the like button and turn on your notifications so that you know when we're live um, in the future. Now, Um, you can still check out our website, obviously, because we are updating it every week, multiple times a week. Check it out, dndadjokes.com, and read what we've got posted there. You can also find our links to other social media from the website. So let's get started on tonight's episode, whose title I did not pick. Session 44, Consequences and Truth. We'll see how this works.
You didn't pick it because you didn't get your act together.
Yeah, well,
That's
all
okay. We
right.
still like you.
Oh, that's good. All right. Last episode, the party arrived at Joyve's, where they learned some history of the town and the Vidrathi family. Joyve informed them it took a great amount of time to work herself into a position that she currently held. She now has the ability to teleport children who were supposedly being sacrificed to the Valgreen away from the city. She was once a counselor of Ilarian Vidrathi. Got to put names in there that I know how to pronounce, apparently. Who instructed her to guard his family after foreseeing the trouble ahead. She also confirmed that Farvin's father conspired to kill Ilarion, who was Zybella's great grandfather, citing that he had charmed his followers. The gift to speak in charm had been handed down from generation to generation, further back than Joyve could even remember. Fix, using his circlet, asked Zybella if she could join them at Joyve's. When she arrived, she was also that the group informed the group that she had to shake off a couple of guards that were following her. Fix asked Joyve to also share with Zybella all that she knew, and with this, the group also learned that Zybella's uncle, Elkian Cormier, also who had changed his last name from Verdrathi, was the one receiving the children in Padun. After discussing and formulating a plan, Zybella decides to stay with Joyve for the night, and the group leaves. After exiting the home of the mage, the party decided not to return to the Owl's Nest. Evangeline went invisible to scout the area with Forsyth in bird form, and he perched on a tree to watch from above. Soon they spotted two darkly clothed figures moving about and determined that they were searching for Zybella. Fix and Kadath, having found another cave of roots, were informed of the two guards looking about and quickly drew them in, detaining them for the rest of the night. The next morning, the group convened at the council chambers and entered alongside Joyve and Zybella. After a brief exchange of words, Zybella spoke and commanded there would be no more sacrifices. As she spoke, she charmed many of the council members, including Kadath. Zybella then communicates telepathically with Farvin, who grew agitated. Seeing his imminent demise, Farvin and Lucas attempt to flee, but their efforts were thwarted as both were swiftly killed by the group. Zybella announces there is to be a feast for the city, then telepathically asks Kadeth if he would address the people regarding the Falgreen and her true identity as Malar, which you guys had figured out at some point, or assume at some point anyway, that they are indeed one and the same.
I
The
got it
first time
confirmed
that
by the
Cadet,
Raven Queen,
Oh,
the
that's
first
right.
time that Cadet went to the library here, he suspected it.
and then the Raven Queen confirmed it.
All right. Well, this is where we begin. It is still morning. Zybella told the council, or the remaining council members, that there will be a feast. She has dismissed them to spread the word and to begin preparing for a feast. All of the town should be in attendance. And she did ask you, Kadeth, to let the townsfolk know about the Fall Green being Malar. And you did agree to that. And so, what do you want to do from here? You have a couple of dead council members still on the floor here. And a feast to prepare for early evening.
We should probably
Before-
get the dead council members taken care of.
Surely this town has has an undertaker.
I mean, it's not like anybody dies very often. They're elves.
But they
Well,
do die.
well, no, we've already witnessed their funeral rites. They are burned on a pyre, and Fix looks at them and then looks to the council and says, "I vote that they be burned outside of the city."
Very much.
I know where there's a hole.
The council members will look to Zybella, and Zybella will give them a nod. Roll me insight,
Who?
any of you, or all of you.
Ote.
Okay.
Hey, I'm actually not bad at insight. I thought it was a different one.
I'm decent at it, but I didn't roll good, so I only got a 9.
I got a 24.
Well, I mean, you're not great with people there, Evangeline. So
I'm not good at talking to people. I'm not good at reading people. People just
I got
in
a
general are a nuisance.
22.
22. All right. Fix and Forsyth. You start to watch the council members a little bit. They are, as they're getting up and leaving, they're getting ready to do as Zybella has instructed. You notice that they are acting a bit stiffly, almost. It's not so much that it's against their will. It's not so much that it's against their will.
But it's a little bit against their will.
But it's a little bit against their will. It's one of those, they feel almost obligated. Not so much compelled, but definitely a strong sense of obligation.
Okay. Do any of them look like they're gonna walk out of here and start plotting and scheming?
From what you gather from your insight, there's no way that they could probably at this point.
Okay. Then I won't make a fuss of it.
So the council members, they get up, they leave to go and make preparations for burial rites outside of the city, and to spread the word on celebration. Zybella will look at all of you and telepathically probably to Fix, because that's the one she's communicated with the most at this point anyway. She will look at you, Fix, and telepathically she'll say, if you'll excuse me, I have some other matters to attend to in light of things.
I'll respond telepathically. Absolutely.
She'll give you a little nod and she will head out of the chamber. So you guys are by yourself with 2 dead bodies at the
I'll
moment.
start like dragging the bodies together and searching them, things like that.
Okay.
Hey, that's
You
my
do.
job.
Forsyth might have been down there and beat you to it.
Ah,
You
but I said it first.
um
That's not what Evangeline does.
as you're digging
I'm helping Buckley repair himself.
yeah. As you kind of search through the bodies and whatnot, you do find on Farven a ring, and other than that, it looks like they just really have some spell components. They probably had some spell protection on themselves at one point. Obviously, is not there when they're dead.
It didn't work either.
But they do, yeah, right. But Farven does have a ring. It's an odd ring.
Hey, Kadath, is this thing magical?
I will take a look.
It is indeed, I believe, with abjuration. It glows nicely.
I'll take some time to try to figure it out.
All right. You sit down with it and you take a look at it. Oops, that was the wrong die. I'm pretty sure it's not a D8 to roll that. All right. You take a look at it, and after a little bit of time, you are. Wait, do you have identify?
That I didn't say that I cast the spell.
Oh, okay. Roll me your Arcana.
Oh, sorry, I was blanking.
Which
I did
one's
that once.
Arcana?
21.
That's not an ability. 21?
Yes.
Okay.
21.
All right. With a 21, I went the wrong way alphabetically. Of course I did. With a 21, you are going to learn that this ring has something to do with intellect. Being that it's abjuration, probably has something to do with protection of the intellect.
I have
Mind
a
shield.
question.
Yes.
I have a question. When
Yes?
I copied this into my spell book, did the scroll remain intact or does it go away?
It goes away.
It goes
Okay.
away. It's as if you cast the spell.
Okay.
But you get to cast it over
Have
again.
have
Yeah.
I ever seen Kadath use a spell book?
No,
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
gonna say,
use
I
one.
think he has one.
Okay.
I believe
I
you're
don't
the only
either.
one that uses a spell book of any sort. That's
You
not
grew
to
up in the
say we.
library or something.
I look at
That's not to say we can't cast spells from
Fix
scrolls, but not spell books.
and say, would you like to know what that is?
I have a guess, but sure. I'll
I
toss
will
it to her.
sit down and
Guessing isn't knowing.
ritualistically cast identify.
You will ritualistically cast
Yep.
identify. All right.
The
You cast
ritual.
identify on this ring. It is indeed a ring of mind shielding. And you know from your identify, you know that it will protect you. You become immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you are lying, know your alignment, or know your creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you if you allow it, if you're wearing it. You get to control that flow, basically. While you wear it, you can make it invisible so that others do not know it exists. You also know, through the identify spell, that it does indeed contain a soul.
I have enough souls. I'm running out of pockets.
Just a thought, with the not being able to identify creature type, could actually be useful for Forsyth.
That's
Could
what I
be.
was thinking.
It requires attunement, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It does indeed require
Do you
attunement.
have slots?
Let me see. I've got 1, 2. Yeah, I don't see that I'm using more than 2 right now. Unless
I've
the
got
palm
plenty.
aquamarine didn't require a slot, right?
No, that was a boon from a god.
So yeah, the gauntlets and the armor sheath are the only things I'm attuned to right now. So yes, I do have an attunement slot. So what was this ring called?
Ring of Mind Shielding, and it should be in D&D Beyond.
Yep.
It's a very
Yeah, I
classic
see it
D&D
there.
item.
Yeah, uncommon. Add to equipment. Put it there. And
It'll take you
attune.
an hour to attune, but
Yeah,
that'll
I'm
be
not doing
useful.
anything for next hour.
We're
Okay.
gonna go take these bodies and get rid of them, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Meanwhile, I'd be talking to myself anyway.
Himself and Irene.
Okay, other than taking these bodies, is there anything we need to do before getting this feast underway?
When is this feast going to take place?
Around 6-ish,
This
just
evening?
before sunset. Yeah,
So we have a day.
pretty much. Yeah, you have like 6 hours.
Is it
7,
possible
well,
to cast the
7 or 8
soul
hours.
out of this ring?
I don't believe so.
Otherwise,
Find him a new body?
that's possible.
The real question is, whose soul is it?
That's a good question. And how malevolent are they?
And is the soul necessary for the ring to work?
No, it isn't. Otherwise, you couldn't fill it yourself.
Yep.
Well, then why is there a soul in there?
And whose soul is
Because
in there?
someone died while wearing it.
Well, in that case, it would be. Well, no, it wouldn't necessarily have to be him if there was
Could have been his
already a soul
father.
in it. Possibly.
Oh.
And is that soul going to cause issues?
That's my main goal is to make sure it doesn't. I mean, I can probably pass a wisdom save, but
But you can always roll a 1.
yeah, I can. Or I can roll a 27.
Is it only when you put it on the first time, or is it continuous checks?
I would think it'd be when you're attuning to it, whether you can control it.
Well, I know that some sentient items require multiple,
Yeah.
like every day it gets more difficult.
I'll tell you what, that sword I had was more difficult than this ring could ever be, and a different character.
Yep.
Yeah. And I dealt with it really well.
That's because you had really high wisdom.
Yep.
It would take some research to see if you could expel a soul.
All right.
So
Yep. Time to do some research. What do you know that I happen to be good at?
Hitting
Yeah.
things.
We've got all day. Might as well start with the local library.
Might as well do something.
Absolutely. Fix
I'll
will
go.
go up to his wherever his room is, and he'll start forging and processing that big chunk of obtanium that they found.
all right.
I'll go start looking into any information about souls trapped in objects in the library. See if they happen to have anything. I don't expect as much because it's not a common subject, but if I find anything, that'd be great.
Evangeline, what are you doing? I had to ask you as soon as you took a bite because that's just how you have to do
Oh,
it.
and while I'm there, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the bits that I need to show everybody about Malar and the Falgren.
You're gonna write a
Falgreen.
speech. Write your speech.
Basically, I'll write my speech while I'm up there,
All right.
and I'm gonna make sure I have references and the works.
All right. All right.
I'm gonna go to the owl's nest.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna sit in the tavern for a little bit. Have something to eat. Have a drink. Just sit and listen for a while before I head up to my room.
Right. What are you doing? Senior.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm yeah, I'm gonna go rest, which is unusual.
It's unusual.
But yeah,
Probably a good call though, because you were up all night.
yeah. I'm in great need of rest rather than arrested.
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
It is for those of you who were up all night. Which I think actually was all of you. Although 2 of you took a short rest. Didn't
Yes,
you?
I took a short rest.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. If you did not take a short rest, by mid-morning you're feeling it and you're going to have to take a point of exhaustion.
That's why I'm
Do
resting.
we have some time to take a long rest before tonight?
You do, actually.
Okay.
It will take up most of your afternoon. Although having a bite to eat in the tavern, you're not doing extraneous work. You can have a bite to eat and then go and finish out your long rest in your room if you'd like.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Because I need
In
my
that
spell
case,
slots back.
yeah, in that case, Fix will do a little bit of foraging and grab a bite to eat, and then do his long rest. So, and he'd probably eat while he's foraging so that he could get as much foraging done as possible.
Eat and forge at the same time.
hmm
That sounds difficult.
Hey, you know.
I'm gonna need a dexterity check. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
I let him borrow my mage hand.
There you go.
well, he does his foraging with his mage hand.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. All right. I need you're writing a speech and doing a little research on seeing if you can find information on this ring as well, right? Kadath.
Yeah, I'll do research into removing the soul,
Okay.
but but my main thing will be making sure I've got the
Okay.
speech together, and then I'll focus on that for
All
a
right.
while.
Go ahead and roll me investigation.
Mm, Man, not rolling great tonight. 12.
Oh, that's not very high. You know where most of the information already is for Malar and the Fall Green, and because you've already done a lot of that research, so that's not a problem for you to find that information.
Yeah.
However, when you get your speech all written and put together and whatnot, you are not finding anything about trapped souls or vanquishing souls or anything like that. You're not finding anything
Okay.
of that nature here.
Then if I'm not finding out anything after a little bit, I'll probably go also take a rest.
Okay, you could do that. Evangeline, roll me a
Yeah.
perception.
That's a 10.
Well, with a 10, you do notice some people coming in and out. You do hear a little bit of talk about, oh, I've heard there's a celebration going on. You see Inland getting, or Ilanan getting a couple of other people to come in and help in the kitchen. Seems like he's going to be preparing food for some of this. Um, and so you do see that's a given. But by the time you get to that point and you start seeing them and the kind of it starts to turn into white noise and you suddenly feel yourself starting to nod off.
Time to go to sleep.
Time to go to sleep. Fix, go ahead and roll your forging, which I'm sure it'll be something astronomical.
Sorry, give me one sec. I had stepped away.
Oh, how dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yep. How dare I? Well, the dice don't say how dare I, because that was a natural 20 for a 32.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to get a good chunk of that obsidian. This is kind of mundane muscle memory
Obtanium?
work. Sorry. Been playing too much Minecraft apparently.
No worries.
Obtanium, you get a good chunk of that kind of worked and you're working out any of the impurities that might still be in there and getting it into a form that you can start pulling from and whatnot, working them into different things that you want to use them for.
Oh yeah, right now I'm just processing them into ingots, multiple ingots.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is that like muscle memory, mundane work.
Mhm.
You're able to process most of it in a fairly short amount of time. Um, and then you too begin to feel yourself waning Mage hand drops a few things. Ah,
And so then I will
concentrate.
take my long rest.
Forsyth,
See,
you find yourself in you go into your room, you crash on the bed. You have this ring. You've attuned to it already, right?
right.
Um, while you are sleeping, images of battlefield mayhem, flashes of like sun or moon, light flickering off of swords. You hear the clanging of swords. Um, you hear grunts and calls and all of this. Very much, it's a battlefield. You're seeing just flashes, like not long enough to really see anything in particular. Like you're not being able to spot faces really. Everything's just a blur, um, shadow figures almost. And you definitely hear a cry that goes out. Um, it seems to be like a death cry, final final breath. Um, it's very distant, and I mean, it sounds feminine in nature, um, but you're not really sure. It's distant enough and just vague enough that you're not real sure. Um,
Okay.
and you just kind of have those images, almost like dreams, just just flashes.
Okay. This is the one I already rolled my wisdom throw for.
Well, he's not doing anything to you at this moment. I mean, you don't
Okay.
need to roll a wisdom save. Do you want to roll a wisdom save?
I already did. I just didn't want to lose it. It was a 27.
Oh man. Yeah, no, right now they're just all images. You don't feel compelled or anything like that. It's almost like you're dreaming a memory. It's
Dreaming someone else's dream.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did they have
As
an interesting life? That was.
well, so far they had an interesting death. That's what you're picking up.
We're all dying to get there. Anyway.
Yep. Um, so the evening progresses, or it progresses into evening, I guess I should say. You all wake up from long rests. You can go ahead and fix your spells and whatnot. Um, and sun's hanging low in the sky. You hear some noise coming from the uh, basically the floor, the forest floor. Um, you figure it's people gathering or setting up things for this celebration. Um, what would you like to do?
Um, After I get, the 5 hours it takes me to don plate armor, um,
Fix shows up at midnight. Okay, guys.
this is where Mage Hand comes in handy. You know,
You have
uh,
hope.
probably go find Zybella.
All right.
Is she
Um,
the? No, she's the girl.
yeah. You are going to be able to locate Zybella probably in the cloud tree or at the cloud tree, not in the council chambers, but outside of it. She seems to be in conversation, not vocally, but you can tell from her
Hmm.
movements and stuff that she is using telepathy. But she seems to be in conversation with Ginlin.
I'll hang back a moment and see if he responds vocally or not.
Um, after it's very. It's like listening to one side of a phone conversation.
Okay, yeah. Just wanted to
you
see
know,
if he had.
he'll do the. Of course, mistress. Yes, mistress. He's kind of getting. You're just kind of getting responses of I understand, and you know every now and then he'll pose a question like, do you want the full fire? Do you want you know do you want a bonfire in the on the forest floor? You know, just asking clarifying questions for like pyres
Mhm.
and a fire and for the celebration, food setups, things like that. He seems to be kind of running the show for her,
Yeah. Okay.
is what you're picking up.
Then I would just kind of. I'm not stealthy at all in plate armor, so um,
But you can try and it would be fun.
I could try, but I'm not going to. So I'll just kind of hang back, 10 feet away and just lean against the wall or sit somewhere and wait.
Okay. After about 5-10 minutes, of her and him conversing, you'll hear him say, "Of course, I will be on this right away." And he kind of gives her a little nod. He walks away. Not very fast, mind you. He's the oldest council member, but he does walk away.
Okay.
Zybella will see you and kind of smile and nod.
Everything
And
going well?
uh, telepathically, she doesn't speak. Um, she says, "Yes, things seem to be falling in place, uncannily easily."
Mm.
Um, yeah, I said that right.
Sometimes when things are meant to be, they do fall in place easily.
Yeah, I'm still not sure this is meant to be.
Eh, it's better than what was.
Well, that's kind of a low bar, I think,
Mm.
after some of the information that Ginlin has shared with me.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but I think that your people are on a path to a better future this way. And he's actually speaking at this time. He's not the telepathic link has dropped at this point.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we'll see how tonight goes. I'm still debating whether or not I actually want to talk to the people.
I think it would be, if done carefully, it would bring them peace or reassurance.
Well, I will choose my words carefully, I guess.
Now I have a question for you.
What's that?
With your new role, do you feel in need of outside counsel?
I mean, there's probably times it would come in handy, but it would have to be from the right person because, outside counsel sometimes doesn't understand the things we do, our traditions, our ways.
Understood. But would you be open to considering it?
Most definitely.
Okay. Well, I will see what I can do. But
You
beyond
have
what's that?
you have connections to be able to do such a thing?
You, my family does. I don't think you would know them though.
I do not. Those of the Baadinu forest tend to stay in the Baadinu forest. We don't venture too far very often. A few of the elders and more educated, such as some of the mages, Joy Bay, for instance,
Mhm.
has traveled, but very few of us have.
Well, he'll stand up, kind of brush off his more, not actually needing to brush off his armor, but just more of a
Force of habit.
yeah. And he'll walk towards her and he'll say, "Well, my friends and those around me call me Fix. My name is," and he'll use his full Lord Kofik Trinston, his full title and everything.
Interesting. Of what city? Or did you put that in
You
your bio?
haven't heard of me?
No, 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 no.
No,
I
no,
put it
wait
in
a
my
minute.
bio.
I want to see. I want to see if Joe remembers where he's from.
Oh God, Joe is. I think I know it.
I know where they live, but
I know it, and I know I put it in my. So I spent most of my time in Ramon,
Yep.
but I believe it's yeah. Key is where they're from.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Only the largest city in the steadfast.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it.
only a city we spend a lot of time in so far.
Yeah, yep.
It's a key city.
Even I
Yeah.
remember
It
it.
You're
is.
right. Ba-dum-bum.
It's been a long week, guys. I'm
I know the
sorry.
feeling.
Oh, and
And
it's
it's only
only
It's been
Tuesday.
the same
Tuesday.
length of time.
Uh-huh.
My week's been longer than yours.
That's true.
I
By
couldn't
like
hear what you
12
said.
hours.
My week has been longer than yours.
My week started last Friday, before this one
17
that just
hours.
passed.
17 hours.
17
17
hours.
hours.
Uh,
But yeah, from Key.
I do believe I have heard
Good
of
job,
Key.
Joe.
That can
Yay.
unlock a lot of doors.
It can, indeed. Um, I have heard of Key. That's really the only city I have heard of outside of Baadinu.
Perhaps you'd like to come visit sometime.
I mean, if I'm going to be ruling in place of Farvin, I think I should like to. I will need to meet acquaintances, other rulers.
Well, you let me know when and I'll arrange it.
Very well.
And
In the
he'd do the.
meantime,
Oh,
oh, go ahead.
yes? No, no, go ahead.
She says, in the meantime, we have a celebration to take care
That we do. Don't look so happy about it.
of.
We'll just smile. It's a celebration for you, after all.
See it as a celebration for me. I see it as a celebration for all of Ephraimon.
And that's why you're going to be good at this.
About being good, but I will
Can
at
you
least
When
bring
you
give
the
my
put
mic a
best.
little closer?
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
when you
It
put
just.
people first.
It creeps forward on me a lot, and so I tend to pull it away as it creeps forward because at some point it will hit my mouth.
Gotcha. So, um, that we do. He'll offer his hand and say, "Shall we?"
um,
Shall
yes,
we?
let's. And she will take your hand
Well, arm, I guess would be.
or arm, yeah,
Yeah.
more like it,
Um,
and allow you to escort her. Um,
after my rest, I was just thinking I might go find Joy Vey.
All right. You will find Joy Vey on the fourth floor. She seems to be going from her place to the fourth floor, kind of going back and forth frequently. She seems to be helping to prepare a setup, basically.
Okay. I'll offer to help while we're talking,
Oh
but
yeah, she'll take your help.
I want to basically ask her what she knows about uh items that have a soul attached to them and possible ways to remove it.
She will say items that have souls in them are not frequently come by. They are often more accursed than actual helpful. Um, Not always the case, but often. Removing a soul from an item, often either you destroy the item or you find a place for that soul to go. Um, Another item that can hold a soul that you can possibly transfer it over,
Mm.
or in some cases, giving it a body. That's always not a good thing.
Is there a way to find out what soul is in an item?
Well, you can usually talk to it.
Well, but
It
with
may
the
or may
potential
not
of it being
respond.
cursed, that could be good or bad.
Could be good or bad.
Does it have to be a humanoid body that it is put into?
Um, Generally, it's really hard to force, well, of course, depending on what the soul is from, I guess, but usually it's from a humanoid body, something of high intelligence. Yeah, to force a soul into a body it doesn't want to go into is twice as hard.
So it'd be difficult to put it into like a squirrel, say.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I was
curious.
I was thinking that same exact thing of the squirrel. I'm sorry.
I started to think, what kind of animal could you put it into?
I don't know. Can you wreak havoc as a squirrel? I know squirrels
Probably.
that can wreak
Yeah.
havoc.
The day the
The
squirrel was
squirrel at my
preserved.
house did the other day.
Right?
But
The-
you could put a
Leela was
squirrel on a
trying to
leash.
get out,
And
and the squirrel was trying to get in.
you could just have it as a squirrel on a leash, and
on a leash.
it'd just be your crazy squirrel that's on a leash or in a little cage you carry it
You're
around everywhere.
you're a little freak on a leash.
Freak on a leash.
Um. Okay, and I'll just chat with her. Other than that, just wanted to see what information she could give us, and I'll keep helping out with finishing the setup.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Um, you help out with her. She puts together some tables for sitting, some tables for like what will probably be a buffet or so. They get the fire ring set up and a fire started. Um, so you're seeing everything come together down there on the fourth floor. Evangeline,
hmm When I
what do you
wake
do
up
when
from
you
my
wake up?
rest, I will go to the bar
Okay.
in the tavern and check out what's going on there.
Seems like last minute things, food getting finished. Um, a few people are carting out big pots and stuff that they can put over smaller fires out on the fourth floor to keep warm, things of that nature.
I will volunteer to help.
All right. Ilanan will gladly accept your help. And you will help them put together and manage more effectively transporting all of the food items and the various drink items that need to go down to the forest floor from the owl's nest, because it is a
We can
trek.
set pots in Buckley's antlers.
Yeah, put saddlebags on Buckley.
That's right. Come on, Buckley, we're going to take some food downstairs.
um, Forsyth, what do you do when you wake up?
Well, first thing I do is look out to the window, see what time of day I think it is, see who's out wandering about.
Um,
Then I will.
I was gonna say the
Go
whole
ahead.
town is wandering about. You can hear them
Right.
bustling and whatnot. And the time of day is it's getting nearer to sunset.
Right. Then I will make my way to where I know that I need to be,
Okay.
join the rest,
Okay.
and I will wish that someone was by my side, but knowing that they have a better life ahead of them, I will just enjoy the crowd and see if there's anyone who is stupid enough to have an exposed wallet. Not working hard for it, but
Well, that's probably a good thing because most people coming in for the celebration and getting things set up and whatnot aren't actually carrying any pouches. Um, this is a celebration that for Ephraimon, they're not expecting to have to use any kind of money or anything, so they're not really carrying anything.
but rich people carry stuff around with them anyway.
It's true. This is true. Um, most of them don't have pouches. They're wearing their stuff.
Right.
Would you like to try to slip a bracelet or a necklace or?
I will find someone who looks like they think they know what they're doing. Someone
Okay.
who's pretentious,
Okay.
but I'm only going to get an 18.
Well, 18 is feasible. I might actually be able to beat that. That's a no. They seem to be totally oblivious. I mean, they may be acting pretentious and, expecting people to walk out of their way, but you're able to, kind of bump into them just slightly. Oh, sorry, sorry.
I saw
And,
him coming.
yeah, and yeah, you're gonna be able to slip off a beautiful silver chain
Silver chains are
bracelet.
nice. Say a silver chain and a bracelet.
Oh, that is the bracelet. It's a silver chain.
Oh, that is bracelet. Okay.
It's very intricate design on the silver chain.
All right.
Very beautiful.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to sell some of this stuff. But bags of holding hold a lot.
Yes, they do. A lot. Um, After a bit of time, about 30 minutes or so till sunset, there is a small fire going on the forest floor. You do see where there is a platform that is supported by the central tree, where Zybella will direct you, Fix, to go. And the rest of you will see Zybella and Fix coming to the platform and heading up to the platform. Heading up, it's about 4 or 5 stairs to the platform.
Okay, I'll head out where she directed me and take a seat.
Um, do any of the rest of you go up the platform, or do you just stick near?
I'll stick
Or
near.
do you run away as
Just
far as you possibly can?
Nah,
I'll,
he's
I'll,
gonna need some
I
backup.
will I will stay within 60 feet, but I won't go up.
All right. All right. Um,
And I will keep my eyes and ears to the crowd.
okay. Zybella will kind of approach the edge of the platform, and you do see her kind of nod at a couple of people, and you do see Ginlin, Verona, and Torfine. Do I remember their names? Oh, no. You guys have been in Veffermon longer than I remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we've been
Okay.
here a while.
Yeah, you have. Yep.
In
Verona,
and out.
Ginlin, and Torfine. Oh, and Yesli. You will see all four of them kind of approach the platform. Yesli, Torfine, and Verona stay on the ground, but Ginlin will climb the platform to stand next to Zybella. After a moment, Zybella kind of looks at Ginlin, and he gives her a little nod. And she says, people of Ephron. And you hear that tinkling sound coming through her voice. Oddly enough, the four of you don't quite feel it like you did in the council chamber. It doesn't quite feel, it doesn't feel the same. It's a nice voice. It's nice to listen to. You feel a little entranced by it, like, you're hearing beautiful music. But you're not feeling the same effect as you did in the council chambers. You're not going to have to roll a saving throw.
Since Fix has essentially heard her voice multiple times and at length at this point, does it even have that magical tinkle, like tinge to it?
It does. You feel it only slightly. Like you can hear the magic behind it, but you're not actually feeling it take hold on
Okay,
you.
gotcha.
But she continues to speak. She says, "People of Ephraimon, today we celebrate the freedom of life."
You need to get a synthesizer just
All right,
for when you're speaking for her.
right. Yeah, I have no way of doing it. Um,
Just thought it'd be
sh-
funny.
it would be kind of cool. I don't have a voice thing. Today we celebrate the freedom of life. We will no longer give sacrifices of our children to the fall green. And to speak to you a bit about that, I have asked for she stops. And she takes back. He has, with his permission, I have asked for Kadeth, Stormbringer. I don't remember your last name. To come and speak.
I don't
Tracy
know that
Long.
I ever give it to anybody anyways. So
Okay, all
in
right.
fact, I didn't ever say Stormbringer.
I
Said
just
yeah.
assumed. My bad. Kadeth. I could just use Kadeth. I have asked Kadeth to speak to you in regards to the fall green. And she will look and she will find you, Kadeth, and kind of give you a nod and step back.
I'll step up there and making sure I'm nice and loud so that everybody can hear me. I'll go into enough detail to where they realize that I've done the research, but not so much that they start to get bored and forget what I'm talking about. you
Too
know,
late.
Too late.
only really going for 5 to 10 minutes total
Okay.
tops. But
Okay.
I'll mention things that I found in their own books. I'll mention about the different resources that I found in their library, but then I'll also bring up at the end, I'll bring up that it was confirmed by the Raven Queen who I serve. So, and I'll tell them all how the Fall Green and Malar are the same thing, and that that talk about what I knew about Malar before and all that stuff.
All right. As you speak, obviously, some people kind of check out a little bit, but
Of course,
um,
speech that
but the
happens.
majority of people are listening. Some are nodding, uh, understanding. Some are
Nodding
just
off.
look a little confused. Um, but nobody's shouting out against you or anything like that. They're taking it in and they're processing. Um, those of you who are watching the crowd, which I know Forsyth was, he specifically said so.
Yes.
Fix would be as well.
All right, go ahead and roll me insights.
I was gonna say I would be watching them as I'm speaking, obviously.
You can roll me an insight too if you'd like.
10.
I would be watching them because that's the reason I stayed off the platform.
There was a pretty girl.
I'm rolling better now. 22.
Forsyth was scanning the crowd and went, "Ooh,
I got the same as Kadath.
22." What did you get,
I got a
Evangeline?
14.
14. Okay. Um, Forsyth with a 10, it looks like it's pretty typical. I mean, you as an urchin have seen all plethora of people and experiences and whatnot. They're reacting much how you anticipated that they would react. Some would be completely confused, others would be completely celebratory. Obviously, uh, mothers with small children are very happy. Um, so they're kind of reacting the way you would anticipate, and then your eye gets caught elsewhere. You see a pretty young elven lady.
Howdy.
Evangeline, you're scanning the crowd. You see much of the same. Um, you do see a few people that don't seem to have really any reaction. Um, you're not really sure why they're not having a reaction. Either maybe they were not affected by Zybella to begin with. Maybe they already had suspicions and this is just kind of confirming, like they already know this is what this is. Um, or they don't care, I don't care. I just live here. you know.
Do
They
they
told me
You're
do
there was
not
they
going to be
sure.
seem to be
refreshments.
located in a group, or are they just scattered about?
Um, a majority of them are just scattered about, but there's like two here, two there. Like they might be in pairs, like maybe a couple, a married couple. People who would communicate frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they're scattered about though. It's not like this chunk of people over here. Um, Kadath and Fix, with your 22s, as you're scanning the crowd, you definitely get some. There are about 3 people in this crowd that seem almost disgruntled. They don't seem to be expressing anything, but just little shakes of their head or a little, crinkle of the nose. You're picking up on minute body language that is kind of like, well, this is going to change things, or that you get the feeling that they're not too happy about the change, but they're not being vocal or obstinate about it
Yet.
yet.
I'm gonna make sure that I, track in my head who they are,
Same.
so I can
Okay.
find out more about them and find out their names later.
All right. It seems to be 2 gentlemen and a
Verona.
lady. And Verona. No, it's not Verona.
No,
No.
Two Gentlemen of Verona. That's a
Oh.
Shakespeare play.
Oh yeah. That's right. And anyway, so you got those 3 over there. They're not up front. They're kind of about halfway into the crowd, off to one side. I mean, they seem to be with the crowd. They're not separating themselves from the crowd. But you definitely pick up on that feeling. Everybody seems to be receptive to you. Once you finish, they clap as a thank you.
Okay. I'll give a nice bow and
All
motion
right.
back towards what's her name?
All right. All right. Zybella will step forward and she will say once again, it is for these reasons we will no longer celebrate the fall green. Today, people of Ephraimon, we begin anew. And everybody kind of cheers. And she gives little
Those
nods
3.
and little, well, they clap, but they're not like, what? They clap because it's just kind of what's expected.
Expected.
Mhm. And she gives nods and little bows. And then she looks to Ginlin, and Ginlin will shout, let us feast. And she'll turn around and she'll look at you again, Fix, and let you know telepathically. She said, we can go now.
I'll stand up and move towards her and offer her my arm again.
Yep. And she will accept your arm and you can lead her off the platform, and the feast is open. After a little bit of time, she will probably recuse herself from you and or excuse herself and go mingle.
Yeah. I'm here if you need me.
All right. What do you guys do during the celebration? There is
I'm
feasting, there is music, there is dancing, there is lots of jovial activity going on here.
considering there's only 2 people in here or 3 people that I know and mostly trust.
Mostly.
That's a
Uh,
good word.
I'm
Words
gonna
matter.
yeah. I'm gonna find the guy that was our guide,
Ginlin?
Ginlin. Yeah, I'm so
Gidlin?
bad with names right now.
Okay. Oh
Jurek
no,
was
you
our
mean
guide.
Zurich.
Yours is
No,
Chuck.
Zurich.
Jurek is our guide.
Zurich
Oh,
was the
gotcha.
guide through the
Wait,
forest,
which
yeah.
one's Ginlin?
Ginlin is
He's
the
a
old
high elder.
elder.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, I got them mixed up.
no,
He's the one that showed you the library. Ginlin was.
no. I'm gonna find Zurich,
All right.
and
He's pretty easy to find. He's there having a good time.
I'll just kind of get him to walk with me for a little bit,
All
just
right.
to walk and chat,
Sure.
and mostly chatting about like what does he think about the revelation I gave them and the information. But I also I'm not going to make it obvious that it's just those 3. I'm going to be like, "Oh, what's that person? Who's that person?" And just pointing out random people, but making sure I get those 3.
Okay.
It's a
Who
random
wants
name
go?
generator.
Come on, you had to know it was going to happen.
I know. I really should write these things down ahead of time.
I mean, you didn't think you were going to say, "Oh, there's these 3 people," and we were going to be like, "Okay, whatever."
Well,
Yeah, that's John, Jake, and Sue. There you go.
John Jacob and Jingleheimer. Oh wait,
Schmidt.
the
They're the
Schmidt
they're the
or the
Schmidts.
Schmidts.
John Jacob and
Schmidt.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
You will
Forsyth
get
is
the.
going to. Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. All right. Forsyth is actually going to find a perch higher up. Not change form yet, but find a perch where he can
Just
watch
looking
the
like he's
crowd.
pretending to be a bird.
Not just basically sitting in a tower if I can find one.
Right, you're gonna change into bird form and bird
No,
form
No.
not
and
at this.
perch?
Not at this time.
No, you're just perching.
Not changing to a bird, just acting like a bird.
Just acting
Yeah,
like a bird. Got it.
finding a high ground. Finding the high ground. That's it.
People are
All
going to
right.
look up there and be like, "Why is he doing this?"
I will be mingling through the crowd, partaking in food and drink, and just wandering around to see what I can see.
So I'll be
Or who I
basically
can,
protecting
or
everybody in
who
our
I
group.
can see.
Or who you can see. Nice. All right.
And actually, what I'll probably do is have Jurek introduce me to people, and I'll just make sure that he introduces me to those three.
Okay. All right. You get the names.
And I want to see if they have any reaction to meeting me.
Well, roll me an insight.
And I'm watching Kadath as she's moving about. Because I'm guessing I'm still on the raised platform or whatever, or someplace where I can
Yes.
see.
You can be if that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Now you know why I went to a tower.
Yeah.
I'm just watching from afar.
Okay.
So I got a 23 on insight.
Good heavens. Okay. Jurek will, as you're talking to him, he'll let you know that it never affected him, some of the rules and such, but he had noticed that the only ones called upon for sacrifice were the less fortunate or lower class,
The common folk.
the common folk, yeah. And so some of this, it just makes things make sense. It's like the missing piece of the puzzle per se,
Mhm.
that you had mentioned. Uh, and as you're pointing out, he'll give you, names of various people. The three people that you saw, you have Uriro, Hazel Moon.
Do
Do
you
you
want to
need me to
spell it
spell
now
them
or
now?
later?
Uriro is Uriro. And Hazel Moon is Hazel Moon. That one's pretty self-explanatory. The other two, he will
Maybe
let
to
you know,
you.
are brother and sister. And you have Bayman is the
Yeah, so you
brother.
said there were 3 total.
Yes, the other two are brother and sister.
Oh, okay. Uriro Hazel Moon was one person.
Right.
Okay.
Uriro
Sorry,
Hazel
I
Moon, one person. The other
I
two
thought
is,
that was 2 names.
yeah, Bayman, Baymen, and Poella, Poella. Last name Fina, Fina.
Fina.
Yep. And as he goes about kind of introducing you to various people where you can chat, you answer a lot of questions about your research. Some people do have questions, and you're very
And I'm
versed in it.
happy to answer.
Yeah. And you answer to the best of your ability. When you
And if
get to the
anybody asks about the Raven Queen, I'll also talk about her, of course.
a few people probably do ask about the Raven Queen because all they know is the Fall Green. So, um, but when you're introduced to these three people, um, you meet up with the brother and sister together, and then Uriro you kind of meet a little bit later. But all three of these you definitely feel with your insight that they are tense. They they'll chat with you. They're cordial. You know, they're well mannered. Um, but there's definitely a tenseness. They almost a fear. Um, they don't want to stir up trouble. At least not here. Not now. Is kind of what you're getting from them. That is the reason why they have a little bit of tenseness or fear. You know, it's kind of like when you get into a political debate these days, you know, you kind of don't know what the other person's thinking and you just kind of don't want to broach certain areas. That's the tenseness you're kind of getting off of them.
Okay.
I need to learn that lesson.
I don't care.
Mm.
I'm old. I can get away with it.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah,
There
'cause
are
you don't talk about
advantages to
politics.
aging.
True, I don't talk about politics generally.
Right.
Yep,
That
I
makes it
usually
easier for
avoid
you.
it. Yep.
Yep. So, after talking with the third one, I'll kind of pull Jurek aside for a second and ask him, were these three, and I don't remember what their names were already, but I'm
I love you.
so bad at that. I'm going to be so bad at that when I start teaching. It's going to be horrible.
You really
No,
do
you
That's
need
get
to
what,
used
just
learn
to it.
student
you
names.
just keep
Student
keep
names are a lot
asking
easier
the
because
names.
they're normal names usually, but not
Yeah.
always. There's always some weird ones.
Oddly
Um,
enough, younger kids are generally okay with that. If you're just straightforward and
yeah,
it's like,
no,
"Oh, what's your name again?" Okay, yeah. They know you'll get it eventually,
and
and they're
I'll
not.
get them eventually.
Call him Mr.
I'll
Smith
I'll try to
or
learn a
Master
couple a
Smith.
week.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna ask him, did these three have anything to do with the sacrifices directly themselves?
Sure, I'll say not that I'm aware of. I
Or
mean, to be
or
honest, I don't.
did they seem to be some kind of supporters of it, or
Nobody was hoorahing a sacrifice. Most sacrifices were done in the middle of the night privately. Um, and we didn't really do a big display of it. Um,
although I can only imagine these three were among the upper class.
they are indeed.
Well, that answers that question. They're probably not ones who have recently lost their children,
Yeah. Um,
which is something I would probably look for milling
yeah.
through the crowd.
Um,
And I'll thank him. I'm not gonna go into like detail about why I'm asking about them or anything.
come on, let me in on the scoop. No.
I'm gonna save that for Zybella. Is that her name?
Yep. See, you can remember some names.
Oh, only if it's said enough times. Um,
That's why you always remember the kids you have to yell at them.
Shouldn't yell at any of them.
um, okay. Well, then I'll thank him. And is she still up at the platform, or is she like
Uh,
mingling or?
every now and then she comes to the platform and converses with Fix briefly and then walks away. She
Well, I'll
seems
just
to be more into mingling with the crowd, answering questions as best she can. Um, you get the feeling just by watching the crowd, and all of you will see this, that the people who are talking to Zybella seem to almost be talking to her for the first time. You can tell that she has not mingled with all of these people before. There are some people that she's very familiar with, most of which are upper crust. Um, but most of the people she has not really mingled with.
then I'll just wait up on the platform with Fix.
Okay.
We'll let him know what I found, and wait for her to come back up there at some point.
Good to know. Just so that you're aware, I'm planning on contacting my mother and getting an emissary or some sort of council here. Make sure that things don't go awry.
That would be good. I could probably get somebody from the temple also, if she'd be willing to allow that, and not necessarily to push worship of the Raven Queen, but just the assistance with any of the grieving process or getting things organized or that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I don't see why not, but you'd have to ask her.
Yeah.
Todd, Evangeline, Forsyth.
Yes.
You will eventually see Kadeth join Fix up on the platform. You guys just continuing to watch the crowd and
Yep.
eat and
Yep.
drink and be merry. All right.
Watch
Watching
the crowd,
watching the
listen
facts.
for information.
Okay. Alrighty. After a little bit of time, Zybella will come back up to the platform. She smiles a bit when she sees you up there, Kadeth. Gives you a nod. Telepathically, she'll ask you, Kadeth, are you enjoying the feast?
I am, for the most part. And the people seem to be mostly receptive of what I told them. But there are 3 that have me at least slightly concerned. I don't know how concerned we need to be, but they're definitely hiding it well.
Well, you have her attention. And she'll kind of look. Who?
I'll go ahead and give her the 3 names.
Okay. Since I don't know Yuriro very well at all. I do recognize his name. I do believe he had come to speak with Farvin on a number of occasions. Poella, I know. I know her more personally. We essentially grew up together. I mean, she always had to have her way with things, if you know what I mean. But
Yes.
her brother I don't know very well. I'm not sure if we should anticipate any trouble from Poella or her brother. But
Well,
if they are close to Yuriro, possibly.
my suggestion would be to approach it more with concern for how they're handling the change. And maybe invite them to a council meeting to see if they have some concern, and allow them to speak freely. Give them that opportunity at least.
I shall do that. I shall look into that. I have not spoken with any of them this evening, mostly because I was making my rounds with, dare I say it, the common folk.
Which I see as a good thing.
Perhaps I should search them out tonight and speak with them briefly, at least.
Rather than common folk, just refer to them as the people.
The hoi polloi. Oh,
The hoi polloi. Uh, very well.
on another subject,
Yes.
semi-related but not directly. I'd like to offer the services of my temple, not as a directly religious thing for recruitment or anything of that nature, but to provide assistance for the changes in the city. If there are people that need a cleric or need someone to talk to, I know people who would be good at that.
That would be welcome. I believe that the city needs a little bit more outside influence.
And we may be able to reach out to some of the other temples, and that way there can be a variety if they are more comfortable with one than another. But also to make it less about the Raven Queen and more about helping the people.
Of course. That would be good. I mean, essentially, we did just rip their god away.
Yes. And it would be good to show them that there are better options.
True. I think that would be good. Just let me know when you've got it set up to expect.
I will.
Um, she will look at you, Fix, and talk to you telepathically. Ask you about emissaries, and ask you the same thing. To please let her know once you have set up anything.
I
What you
will
to expect.
hopefully have information for you on the morrow.
Very well. In the meantime, I will go and look for Coella.
And Zybella,
Yeah.
I don't know how many more days we're planning to be here, but if time permits, would you allow me to take you on a second date? I didn't hear what you said.
I said, sure. She says, I would like that.
Very well.
She will give you each a nod, and she will turn around and walk back off into the crowds of people.
I'm going to go ahead and step to a quiet corner and pull out the sending stone.
Okay.
And Fix will activate his circlet, kind of
Oh
cringing,
no!
kind of
No.
cringing at it. He's like, oh god, this is. He actually looks at Kadath and he's like, I guess I can't put this off any longer.
Yeah, well, you did offer your services.
It's for the greater good.
It's that, or if you want to contact my people for me and have them try and get a hold of her, but
I, thi- I think
I
that'll
don't know if you
cause
want to
more
risk that.
issues. Be amusing if we could watch it happen, though.
It would be to be on a fly on the wall of that conversation.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll have your people contact my people. Or the other way
Problem
around.
is, our people don't like each other.
There's war in Key.
Yeah, you guys are kind of two sides of the coin, balance and chaos.
And a chaotic element of the balance side and an order element of the chaos side.
Chaos
Yeah,
side.
it's
Yep.
really kind of what it boils down to. Because I am a little more chaotic.
Oh my goodness. All right. You step off, you pull out the sending stone. I was gonna make a joke about like, you have reached the Raven Queen's temple. How may I help you? This is Erwin speaking.
God
Please
never
leave
gives
a
a busy
message of
signal.
30 words or less.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
At the tone, please leave a message.
Um, I'm trying to think how to word it, but I would basically say,
You want me to give you a minute or just go with it?
uh, just go with it.
All right.
I'll say something along the lines of, Erwin, can you please come to Ephraimon at your earliest convenience? Because then I can just tell him while he's here, if he could come now.
This is true. Erwin will respond. Says, give me an hour.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, he's not quite sure how to. You don't usually ask him to come.
True.
It's like, this could be important.
I mean, it's hard to really give it much detail over a sending stone, though.
This is true.
How do you tell somebody in 30 words or less? We just overthrew a
Another.
reigning council
Another.
in another town. And,
We need some help.
We're taking over another town in the name of the good.
the bad and the ugly.
That too.
You call?
Do I know where he's likely to show up?
Probably just outside of Ephraimon. He'll probably be coming to the gate.
Okay, then I'll give it about half an hour and then I'll head that way and wait out
Okay.
there for him.
Okay. All right.
But till then I'll mingle a little more.
You're not going to stay there and give Fix moral support?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I can stay there and look and laugh. I'll watch Fix and laugh.
All right. As you sit back and kind of look at Fix, like, well, I did my part. It's your turn. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
luckily, I don't have to say it out loud, so
That's true. You can say
Well, I
it all
can't
in
really
your
do much. You're not even saying anything out loud.
exactly right.
You're just. You can do it. You can
I'm
do
sitting
it.
there watching while you look constipated. So.
Speaking of which, we're gonna take a break. We will get to Fixes calling his mother again, and after break. We'll be
Again.
back in 10.
Be back.
Gotta put on my mom
I
hat
guess
here.
you never.
And we're back.
Hello, and we're back. Fix, you wanted to call your mama. Or at least I'm assuming it's your mama you're calling.
Yep, yep. I take a deep breath and I activate the circlet.
You
Mama.
feel her pick up on the other end.
Hi, mommy.
Yeah, you rang.
What do you need now?
So, you'll be happy to know that we found a group of, I guess you'd call them culters, some whack jobs that were sacrificing children or making people think they were sacrificing children to get longer lives. In reality, it was just some asshole that was doing it to keep the population down to ensure his seat of power was secured. Uh, oh, don't know if you've heard of the place. It's called Ephraimon.
Ephraimon. That is, I believe, the largest city in the Baadini Forest.
It is. So you've heard of the place. Great. Do we have any influence in this area?
This could be bad. No, most of my influences is in the steadfast. Because
Well,
most other places are already in chaos. Why on earth would I need to cause chaos someplace else?
yeah. Well, um, the I don't know if I'd call her the new leader, but the new person that everyone is following, um, is open to a uh, a counselor helping her through this transition period. It will need to be somebody quite strong of willed. Her line apparently possesses a gift of charm with her voice.
Interesting.
Oh, and I'm kind of dating her.
Come again? You just
Well,
helped some. Okay.
we've been on a date.
Okay.
We're going on
Okay.
another one maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Oof. That could make things interesting. Do you care who I send?
Maybe.
Are you nervous about someone spilling childhood secrets?
No, I was a child.
Yes, that you were. Sometimes I think you still are.
I think that will be the your stance on it no matter how old I am, Mother.
Well, there is a good chance at that.
Who are you thinking of sending?
I was thinking of sending Lillian.
I think that would be very helpful.
All right. Then Lillian it shall be. She knows her way around noble houses like the back of her hand. And she is quite adept at her own manipulations, not easily manipulated herself.
Good to know. And is she good at spotting danger?
Oh, very.
Okay.
Almost too good sometimes.
When can I expect her?
You are in Ephraimon. I will speak with Gavian. I may be able to get her there as early as tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, of course, I know I can't hang up on this thing. So I got you for the next 24 hours. Let me
Yeah.
read a few things.
Yeah, well, is there anything that you wanted to discuss? Anything going on that I should know?
um,
Any place I need to avoid?
I would say avoid Niliesh.
Still?
Yes. Niliesh is on the edge of war, and apparently they're not too happy about a certain young lady who's decided not to marry a certain man. I won't say young. And they're about to break out
Will that young
any
lady
day
be
now.
safe?
Oh, the young lady is safe, that is for sure. Concerned about others.
Anything you need done?
Not as of right now. Roll me an insight.
24.
Good golly. You know your mother. You know your mother a little bit better than you've ever known your mother before, since some truths have come out. You've started to pick up a little bit better on when she's holding something from you. And you get that sense right now. She is definitely not sharing much. There's definitely something she doesn't want to tell you.
Okay. I need to see how. Oh, crap. One second. Bring that back up. Character sheet. How is Fix going to address this?
Is Vix going to address this?
Yes, that is the question. Um, what aren't you telling me?
Oh, you're just going to address it directly, eh?
Yeah, he's yes.
Um, I don't always share my plans with you.
I don't ask for your plans. I ask for what you're concerned with that you don't want to share.
If I share this information with you, I do not. I cannot have it affect your path.
I will try my best.
You're going to have to try harder than that.
I will try Cadeth's best.
She might trust him. Oh.
I like that. Kadeth has proven himself to be quite, what's the word I'm looking
Discipline.
for? Disciplined. I'll take that word. That's not the word I was looking for, but that'll work. Has proven himself quite disciplined, and regardless of how he feels, stays on target. Um,
Stay on target. Stay on target.
stay on target. Most importantly, I don't want the same to happen to you. In the midst of the chaos that is brewing in Niliesh, I have lost contact with Gidna.
Now we have to go to Niliesh.
Which one's Gidna?
His sister.
His
Sister. Okay,
favorite
that's what I thought.
sister.
He just
The
I
one
don't
he
know.
liked.
Did Cadet stay there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
It almost looks like somebody gut punched him. Like the color drains from his face at that point.
I'll just look at you and raise an eyebrow.
My first instinct is to leave here tonight and head straight there quickly as possible and rip the place to shreds till I find her. But I won't do that.
A cadet's instinct
Oh,
says what?
But I won't do that.
that sounds like fun.
What I will do is in 2 days' time, I will see if I can reach her.
If you get in touch with her, do let me know.
I will let you know within 1 to 6 days after I get in touch with her.
All right. I'll accept that.
It'll mean I'll have to call you again. I know you don't enjoy these calls.
No, not particularly.
I mean, they last for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. It would be nice to be able to cut the connection there, but it's convenient,
It is convenient.
and yet I have not yet used it on the person I intend to.
You know, you could try it on your sister tomorrow.
No, I can't.
Well,
It
in
has a
24
recharge
hours.
rate.
It has a recharge.
Oh,
It has it's
1d6
1d6,
oh.
and I rolled 2
days.
days. So in 2 days,
Then you can try.
yep.
Okay.
All right.
If there's
In the
anything I
meantime,
can do to help, well, especially within the next 24 hours, you know how to get a hold of me.
that I do. Don't be rash.
I won't be. But I pity whoever harms her.
I pity the fool.
I don't pity him or her, whoever. They have what's coming to them. They deserve it at this point.
Remember you said that.
Yeah, well,
Like his entire tone changed. Like it went from "Hey mom, how you doing?" to just cold. Like
yeah.
nothing.
Oh, I'll remember.
Takes a breath. Well, I love you, mother. And then he
And
just kind of goes silent.
she will respond the same. I love you too. Don't be rash.
That's his whole game plan.
I know. And she will go quiet as well. Her focus turns elsewhere.
I think Foresight. Was there something you were saying you wanted to do?
Not that I can think of or remember.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Then
probably about ready to head down to the gate at this point.
um, Fix will
That's
ask if
great.
he can join you.
Absolutely.
Never mind.
Yeah, Cadet's gonna go on the date. I know that's what you heard.
No, I said I was wondering what was at the gate.
Oh,
But I know what's at the gate. It's just
Enemies at the gate.
enemies at the gate.
I had a senior moment, okay?
But cha.
And I'll tell Kadath Lillian will be here most likely on the morrow.
Very well.
My mother's lost contact with Gidna and
That,
Niliesh.
that sounds concerning.
She made me promise that I would consider your dedication to the path.
Interesting. I had not realized that your mother thought so highly of me.
She at
More
least
lowly of him.
she at least thinks highly of your conviction.
I'll keep that in mind with her. I appreciate it.
When I'm able to, I'm going to try to contact her. And once our path is completed, if she is still not found, I will find her one way or the other.
Well, I am happy to assist with that. And I think the others would be also.
Appreciated. And then he actually finishes walking in silence at that point.
Okay, and we'll head to the gate.
You head to the gate. After about 20 minutes or so, you see Erwin kind of making his way out of the tree line. The guards kind of come to attention a little bit and then relax because they recognize Erwin because he's been there before.
Right.
And Erwin will nod to both of them. He will tell them good day and walk on in and see you. He'll say, Kadeth, seemed you don't normally ask me to come to you, so
Well,
I thought it best to be urgent.
there was too much to share over Ascending Stone.
Oh, well, point me to the nearest drink and fill me in.
Well, just so happens that there's a festival going on upstairs, so there's plenty of drink there.
There's a party
Excellent.
going on around here. A celebration.
A celebration. All right. What are we
Old
celebrating?
song.
Oh, that's probably part of why you're calling me, isn't it?
Yes.
Got it.
So I'll lead him up there. While we're walking, I'm gonna let him know that I'm going to introduce him to. I already forgot her name again.
Zybella.
Zybella.
Wow, that's the one we say a lot too.
I know. It's been 5 minutes, so
Got it. Short term dump. It was that automatic
yes.
empty the trash bin there. Got
Yeah.
it.
I'll let him know I'm going to introduce him to Zybella and that she is now the de facto leader of Ephraimon.
Ah,
I'll let him know this as we're walking up there, kind of walking slow, so I can get a little more information in.
he listens intently. He'll let you know the last time he saw Zybella, she was still quite young. But
What do you
he
do?
listens.
You know anything of her family's natural ability?
I do not. Only what you have shared with me. Um, the last time I was here, I never saw her speak.
There's good reason for that. It appears, and I don't know the cause nor the extent of it fully, although I am curious about it. But it appears that anytime she does speak, she charms people, including those who have a natural resistance to such things.
Interesting. This sounds like old magic.
And what's more is she can't turn it off.
Interesting.
It happens whether she wants it to or not. So,
Oh,
she has developed the
that could be
ability
a problem.
to use telepathic communication.
Well, that is helpful.
One way.
Don't- Yeah, only one way
Oh.
communication. You have to speak out loud back to her, but but she's at
Okay.
least able to project her thoughts into somebody's mind,
Well, that is helpful.
and that doesn't cause any of the charming effects.
So it is literally just attached to her voice.
Yeah,
I could
but
see where that
apparently
could
it's
be.
must be a genetic trait of some sort because her father could do the same, and her family is back as far as I know have been able to do that.
It does skip some of them though.
Oh, that's true. It does skip some.
Interesting.
So, but with that, do you remember when you mentioned about the fall green being the one that they were worshiping here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to change basically starting now.
Interesting.
Have you ever heard of Malar?
I have not. Who is Malar?
Uh, long story short, which I'll fill in details at another time, or maybe later this evening. He was a rather chaotic, really kind of extremely chaotic, somewhat evil uh, minor deity who was in power around this area at some point in the past, but at some point this changed how he was approaching things and took on this new persona of the Fall Green. And essentially, this city was sacrificing children to extend their own lives, or they thought they were. Luckily, there were those with more sense who managed to intervene without many people's knowledge. At
Oh,
least, I'm assuming for a while, if not the whole time. Um,
We failed to do that, the whole other people not noticing.
yeah, we're too good at noticing things, you know.
Well, I mean more, we intervened and everyone noticed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and
when we
well,
intervene, things tend to change. I mean,
that
it's just kind of how it's been happening lately.
yes, yes, it is. Hey, but I'm not gonna say this is a bad thing because, quite frankly, the sacrifice of children is totally against the Raven Queen.
Absolutely.
She is more about the cycle of life, the natural order of things. That is
Yeah.
not natural.
No, absolutely not. Um, oh, and we did find a really interesting place that I'll have to tell you about later in our travels down here.
Oh
But
yes.
that's that's a tale for another time, and there are those at our temple that might be interested in it. But what the main reason I called you here was to see if we can supply aid in the form of some clerics, both from our temple and maybe from some of our allies. Um,
Um, absolutely.
because these people essentially just lost their god,
Yes.
and
I don't.
we're just because I actually shared with them this what I've learned, and it was
Oh,
confirmed by the Raven Queen herself.
good.
So they know, the entire population knows now that the Fall Green is not someone that should be worshipped.
Yes. And this Malar and Falgreen never presented at the same time. It was definitely.
That was one of the things that led me to suspicions that I later was able to confirm.
Hell, this is good.
And
All right.
I can share a lot of the other details with you at a, or
Yeah.
even show you which books I got some of the stuff out of at a later time.
Yes. That would be helpful. We will
But
go
if
to the
we can,
library. We will do that tomorrow.
yeah, but if we can get people here from Thrice or other cities that would be able to help with this transition time,
Yes,
although
absolutely.
so that you're aware, um, there is someone coming to help with the more political side of things also from some who did you say was coming? I forget
Lillian
already.
Trinston.
Yeah. So, and of course she is aligned with the rest of the Trinston family. So, I just want to make sure you're aware of that so that there is no trouble there.
I don't think there will
I
be
don't
trouble.
I don't think there will be either, but just so that we're not caught off guard.
Of the Trenson family, Lillian is most likely the one to cause the least chaos, actually.
True.
Vix just kind of chuckles.
Fix the most.
I keep my eye on the one that has the most troubles.
Probably a good thing.
I look o-
I've
I'll look
not
over
caused
at
any trouble.
I'll look over at Fix and just grin.
I don't cause trouble. In fact, you're the one that does the troublemaking when I'm around. At my behest, but that's neither here nor there.
But you're the one that actually does it.
Let's
You're
see.
the instigator.
Well, do I ever ask you to do something that you don't already want to do?
Rarely.
All right.
So,
Erwin will gladly follow your lead, get some drinks, continue to chit chat about your knowledge and your findings. Definitely
ap-
wants to go to the library in the
yeah.
morning.
After we get a drink, I'll actually lead him up to the upper area so that Zybella can see that I'm up there with
Okay.
somebody up there.
Okay. All right.
Wait till
Um,
she approaches.
yeah. After a little bit, Cybella will approach. Um, she will talk to you, Kadeth, telepathically and say, "Is this?" She kind of gets a little bit of a look, like she's seen him before. She vaguely remembers him. Um, is this the one from your order?
Well, this is my master Erwin. He's the one who brought me up and taught me many of the things I know.
Excellent.
Um, but I called him here because I think he can get the right people here.
But she will she will sit um, with him for a little bit, and you can tell that she's talking to him telepathically, and so you're getting one-sided conversations again because he will
Yeah.
speak openly. Um, and it's pretty much things that you've heard lots of times before, um, answering questions about the order and answering questions about his previous experience there and various other things. He's confirming with her that you've shared with him much of what has taken place. Um, and so they're definitely in a conversation.
And I won't pay too close attention to it. I'll just let them talk and
All right. They talk. Fixed, you just stick by a little
No, I'd actually go find our guide person.
jerk.
Yep.
All right. He's not hard to find. He's had a few drinks, but he's not hard to find.
who hasn't?
Vix, thankfully, because he would probably it would probably not be good right now if he was intoxicated.
Screw you, Mom.
I'm gonna go find my sister.
I'm gonna go find her now.
Uh,
Good luck with that.
he'll find her or die trying.
Yeah, one or the other. It's
Uh,
easy enough to find Jurek.
yeah. So, any way you could get a spot set up in the treetops.
Yeah, I mean, there's spots scattered throughout the treetops that's already, set up for lookouts or various
Something a little
other
bit more
things.
personal
Don't
and
say it.
romantic.
Intimate.
Something a little more intimate, eh?
Yes.
Um, I know of one. I mean, it's still a lookout spot, but it's a little bit more recluse. And I could probably get a couple of people to help me spruce it up a bit.
I'd greatly appreciate it.
All right. I'll get on that.
I'll toss him 50 gold.
Oh, dude. All right. I'll get on that now. You see him kind of walk away. You do see him approach like two other people, and he kind of nudges them a little bit and says, "Hey, come help me out." And you'll walk away. You will see that these two other people have a little bit more of a naturalistic vibe to them. They have um, dull toned, uh, simple tunics and leathers. You see that they do have some fur-lined trimmings to some of their things. One of them has braided hair that has some feathers and stuff kind of braided into it, and some beads. You're getting very
Druid
natural,
vibes.
shamanistic, druidic vibes. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will go and actually I'd go into the what was it, the cloud tree with the big kitchen,
Yeah.
and I'll start looking at what they have and trying to figure out what I'd make, like just essentially trying to keep my mind busy.
Got it. You're gonna make yourself busy. Got it.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna be up in the kitchen for a while. Evangeline and Forsyth, you guys have watched pretty much all of this go down. You have not, you can't really hear what's happening unless you get close enough to like the stage where they, or the podium that they might be conversing at or whatnot. You don't hear a whole lot of what's going on, but you can see. You see when they leave. You see them walk back with Erwin, whom you both have met. You see uh, Cadeth's demeanor, or not Cadeth, Fix's demeanor, unless you were trying to hide it, which I doubt.
Nope.
You see Fix's demeanor change at some point before they walked off, and then came back with Erwin. You did see a change in his demeanor. You're not really sure what that's about. Um, Other than that, the crowd seems to be pretty good. I need you two to roll me perceptions, Evangeline and Forsyth.
Oh, 11.
I got a 21.
Okay. Evangeline, you are going to notice the three of the people, because I don't, you guys haven't really talked yet, but three of the people that were kind of stoic and didn't seem over enthusiastic when Kadeth was, he just gave a gentle clap, and when Zybella ended, they just, an obligatory clap. You know, you see three of those people leave together. Um, they seem to have left the celebration and moved on. Forsyth.
Okay.
Um, you see people milling about. Some leave, they come back. Others leave, they come back. You're not really keeping that close of tabs on individual people necessarily, um, because quite frankly, as you're watching, every now and then you get a glint of a very beautiful gold necklace. Ah, man, what you would do to get one of those. Or
Everybody has their priorities.
you see some jewel encrusted robes and whatnot. You're like,
Yeah.
man, I need to get me some of those. So yeah, you're just watching the crowd and you see some things stick out to you that's like
Right.
your eye keeps going to the shiny. Although you do notice when Fix did talk to Jurek and Jurek, you kind of watched Jurek jog off. You did notice the shaman like people, the more druidic people that Jurek did speak to, and they left.
Right.
You figure they're on some errand for Fix.
All right. I will momentarily keep watch of them.
Right. Eventually, you will see them kind of weave through the crowd and get to a tree and start to climb up and hit the taller branches and start to move through the branches, actually, further away from the center of city.
Okay. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to
Okay.
go into eagle form and follow them.
All right. You follow them in eagle form. And eventually, it takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes via the treetops, and they reach this platform. The platform itself is probably 20 foot by 20 foot. It's just solid wood platform, seems to be attached to the tree in some way. As you're looking at it, it's not a conventional urban way. It's not like hammer and nails or anything like that. It almost looks like the tree was grown that way to create the platform. Um, and you see all
Possible.
three of them stop on the platform, and you see Jurek start to give instructions. And as you get closer, you could tell he's like, "Oh no, we need to put a vine here, and we need to do this over here, and see if you can get it to bloom, and all of this stuff, And you see the two druid people kind of have their hands on the platform, and they are in complete concentration as you watch some of the tree branches grow. It's not super fast, it is kind of slow, but you do see them start to grow and weave to create like a backdrop on one side of the platform and have a little overhang with some vines and stuff that kind of start to dangle a little bit. And by the time you're done watching them, it's absolutely beautiful, actually. You wouldn't mind to take a certain someone there.
Right. Does
The
anything seem
gold chain
untoward?
necklace.
Yeah.
The gold chain necklace.
Okay. Does anything seem untoward? Are they happily doing this, or is there seem to be some level of subterfuge?
No, they seem to be pretty jovial about it.
Okay, so
They're
this
pretty
is some
excited about it.
celebratory type of thing. I'm going to use the tree branches and leaves, trunks, etc., to move in toward them
Okay.
and hidden from their sight, but not from mine. I'm going to perch near enough to hear what they're talking about.
Okay. All right. Um, roll me your stealth. They seem to be
Oh,
pretty engrossed in what they're doing, but give me a stealth roll.
I can't. I'm away from my computer.
Ah, ah. Well, I guess I could hit the D&D Beyond. That's what you do, right?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Let me find your character. Stealth. Of course, watch. It's my luck. Oh no, actually, you got a pretty. Dang, that's 24. All right. With a
See, they
24.
probably rolled better than me.
Wouldn't it be the eagle's stealth?
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I
I
rolled a
believe.
16 on the die. Let me go
Yeah.
take a look at the
Oh, it's
eagle.
going to be pretty much the same.
Uh oh yeah, it's a 23 for the eagle. So
Yeah.
yeah, you and the eagle are pretty similar there. Um so you're able to kind of hop on over a little bit, and as you're listening to them, you hear little tidbits that they're almost always in reference to Zybella. You know, Jurek starts talking about, Zybella likes it up in the treetops. This is her favorite color. I know I gave you her favorite color before, but I don't remember what it was. This is
Periwinkle.
periwinkle. Periwinkle's her favorite color. Make them periwinkle. Um, so he's giving instructions to make this a very beautiful, basically canopied hideaway per se for Zybella, and you assume Fix because Fix was the last person to talk to Jurek.
Right.
But Jurek seems to only be talking about what Zybella would like here. He's your go-to
Okay.
guy.
Interestingly enough, I can just perch there and guard it,
There you go.
because if they're building it and they're going to meet there, then uh, without getting into their business, I can actually keep watch over them.
Yeah. Make sure nothing ill happens.
Right.
All right. Um, well, after a little
Thank.
bit, you will hear that this is for tomorrow. It's not for tonight, right? You said
Right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be for a date for tomorrow. So you know where it's at. You know a good place to sit, to kind of hide. They don't seem to notice you at all. They're very engrossed in what they're doing. And
Yeah, but getting 9 hours at a time,
yeah,
I can I can stay there for quite a while.
yeah, you can. Um, and so eventually they leave and kind of make their way across the branches and back down the trees.
Okay. I will stay there for another hour, making sure no one was basically following them
Okay,
with
doesn't
ill
look like it.
intent. And with the idea of going back at least 2 hours before Fix goes there on the morrow.
All right, all right. Sounds like a plan. Evangeline.
I'm not going to mention it to him, by the way.
Okay, you're keep that to yourself. Got it.
Yeah.
Evangeline,
Yes.
what are you doing as the evenings begins to wane? You've seen this activity. Um, you may or may not have noticed Forsyth kind of dart off.
I'm more interested in the three that left.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Follow them.
Okay, you follow them
I'll cast invisibility on myself and Buckley.
and Buckley. Okay, so Buckley is going with you. All right,
Yes.
they are heading toward, I believe I called it the living tree, where a lot of people live, especially the upper echelon. Um, they head that direction. Uh, go ahead and roll me a stealth. Unless, of course, you don't want to be stealthy. As being invisible, it is with advantage. And Buckley, if he's following you, he will need it as well.
A natural 20 for 21. And 19 for Buckley.
And a 19 for Buckley.
Yeah.
All right. They are heading up the living tree. They climb up the living tree. There is they head into what looks like a tavern up in the living tree. You're pretty sure this is probably where Forsyth went off to one of the first days you were here, and
Okay.
they duck into there. I mean, the door is open. There is somebody at the bar. That you know they're not left completely unmanned because of the celebration, but there is somebody at the bar. Um, there's a few other people here that just seem to be kind of a little bit more introvertish and doesn't really want to be with the whole city down there. Um, but they seem to find a small table kind of off in the corner, the three of them, and they get a drink, probably a snack, a small bite to eat. What do you do?
I'm gonna make my way to their area and
Okay.
listen to see what they talk about.
Okay. They start chit-chatting um, in kind of hushed tones. You start to pick up, you know, Poella, the girl. Uh, she she kind of looks at the other two. She's like, I would have never expected Zybella to take such a commanding position. She always seems so shy. Um, one of the men kind of look back and well, I mean, it is kind of the natural order if with Farvin gone, uh, it would only seem fitting that Zybella would take over. However, Ginlin is the elder. We might be able to sway Ginlin. I don't think we have a chance with Zybella, to be honest. She's young and rash, and especially with these visitors. And the third person quickly um, grabs the hand of the other one that was talking. And he begins to look around.
Okay.
Um, he picked up, you're pretty sure, when Buckley came in, uh, his feet on the wood was making just he just is not light-footed enough.
He has a better plus to his dex than I do.
Yeah, but you picked your feet up.
True. I'm also not metal.
And he kind of looks around because you guys have stopped moving. It's like we should not discuss anything of that nature here, or perhaps at least the rest of the evening. We shall just enjoy the celebration, have some drinks, have some food, get a good night's sleep. Things will look fresh again in the morning. And then they kind of chit chat about the weather and you know, the food that was so good at whatever, and the ale, and then they start talking about, you know, small talk.
We'll make our way out.
All right.
And I'll leave Buckley outside and make my way back in.
All right. They continue to chat small talk for several hours. How long are you going to be there?
How long are you
I'll hang
invisible for?
just an hour. I'll hang out until just before my invisibility ends.
Okay. You hear a bunch of small talk after all of that. And then you head out. as your invisibility is about to end. And they stay there. They don't appear to be ready to go anywhere. They seem set, much how you and I sit down at Skyline. We're here. We're gonna be here for some time.
We're gonna be here forever.
So they're a little chilly.
Yeah. We order ourselves a little chili, and then anybody else who comes in, we get them a little chili too. So where do you go after that?
I'm gonna head back to the owl's nest.
Evening begins to fall. The crowd is winding down. The fire is dying down. It's starting to get late. It's like 10 or 11. Um, you guys aren't super tired because you had a late, long rest previous night. However, you know if you stay up tonight, there's a good chance you'll be exhausted tomorrow when everything else starts to come in.
Unravel.
Yeah, everything else starts to unravel. Um, so you make your way back to the owl's nest, or do you go elsewhere? Evangeline headed back to the owl's nest.
Yeah, eventually I would.
Okay.
I would make sure that Erwin has a place to stay. But yeah.
Yeah, he'll find a room at the owl's nest as well.
I'd do some prep work and then I would head back.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. You've got a pretty good idea on what kind of meal you want to fix. And Forsyth, after a little bit,
Yeah, I'm just
you're
going
pretty sure
to.
it's clear.
Yeah, after I'm sure no one's coming that evening, I will go back to the inn
Okay. All right.
and
You
get
all
some rest.
managed. Okay. You all managed to reconvene at the inn, and you get ready to bed down for the evening. Anything you wish to discuss with one another, because you really haven't talked a whole lot together during this evening.
I'll let the others know what I figured out about those three.
And I'll let the others know what I heard those three talking about.
Which gives me more cause for concern than I had previously. But
And
also, oh, go ahead.
I'm not gonna let them know anything.
I watched them party all night. This person had a gold necklace. This person had a silver chain. This person had
And their little
I'm not
dog
gonna.
too. Oh.
their
I'm
little
not gonna
dog
let them
too.
know about the love nest.
But I will also talk about, or tell them that Erwin's here and, talk about what we were planning to do. Bringing multiple clerics in, basically.
Yeah.
I'd let them know that
Cross still a
Lillian will
tie.
be arriving most likely next tomorrow. And that my sister's gone missing in Nyliesh.
Not a big fan of hers, but I'll help you look for her.
I can't. As much as I would like to, I gave my mother a promise that I would not stray the course.
We'll go look eventually,
Yeah, at some point you're gonna want to go look for her.
and we'll
Oh, yeah.
find.
It is a
But
reality.
but we do need to finish what we started first.
Let's face it, I'm better at that than any of you.
But to these three, perhaps a good outlet for my
Frustration,
yes,
anger.
yes.
We'll give them a chance to
make their mistake.
Just to try to con us into believing them?
Well, give them a chance to explain themselves first.
Give them a chance to do right before we convict them of doing wrong.
I am
Yeah.
quite inclined to give them that chance while they have broken kneecaps, but fine. We can let them talk first.
Talk first, break later.
Yeah.
Much fun as it is, we have to do right by ourselves and those for whom we toil.
Shall we go visit them in the tomorrow?
Well, I
Sure.
talked to what's her name about having them meet with the council in the morning, so I don't. Hopefully, she already set that up.
Then we should be there to ask them what their concerns are.
Yeah, I planned on being there.
I have something else on my mind at the time, but you know how to get in touch with me.
Very well.
All right. As the evening comes to a close, is there anything you wish to do other than go to bed?
If I have the
Catch
time, I'm going to
fun.
continue the forge work.
Yeah, you got some time and some pent
Yeah.
up energy.
Take your frustration out on the metal.
Right?
After I've got a good rest, but before the sun comes up. I'm going to instruct Buckley to stay close to Kadath.
That's going
I'm
to be like,
going
why are
to
you following me, Buckley?
gonna take
Get me 5 feet, all right?
TC and TTC, and I'm going to head to Joy Vase.
Okay. All right.
If I see anybody out and about, I will find a place and cast invisibility on myself. Otherwise, I will just stealthily make my way through the shadows.
I mean, you see the people that you expect to see. You know, there is a couple of people that kind of patrol just to keep peace, alert for any danger, you know, charging Juriscar or anything like that. You basically town guard. You do see a couple town guard moving about the city. There's a couple at the gate that seem to be half asleep almost. Um, it it's quiet. People partied late. It's quiet.
All right. So I won't cast invisibility. I'll just kind of try to stay obscure and make my way to Joy Base.
Probably easy enough to do.
Did you want a forge roll, by the way?
Oh, yes, yes. Give me a forge roll. I
Okay,
meant to ask for that and then I forgot.
no worries. 28.
28. All right. I'm going to say you're going to be able to manage to forge the rest of that into ingots and whatnot. You're working hard. You're working up a sweat. You're sending out lots of energy. And you're pushing that metal in ways it shouldn't go, but you're making it work.
All right.
All right. So you get to Joy Vase. Do you knock? Okay. It you start to hear some shuffling and whatnot kind of going on in there, and it takes her a few minutes, well, maybe 5 minutes or so. And eventually she opens the door, and she's like, "Oh." She opens the door the rest of the way. Evangeline,
I'll
what can
squeeze
I?
my way in.
She'll shut the door after you. What can I do for you?
Don't want any leaks.
Yeah, we can keep it quiet here.
I am going to ask her about sending.
Do you need to send? You want to be able to send?
It's more. Yeah, I wouldn't mind to be able to send. Don't know if I can do that. I don't know if my abilities are that far yet, but I would like to send.
Oh, it'll take me just a minute. I'll put together a scroll for you. Um, it's a relatively low level spell, but third level.
Third level wizard, yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it on a scroll, and you can cast it from the scroll, but of course, if you want to put it in your spell book, it may just take you some time to do so and be able to cast it effectively.
I would appreciate that.
We'll do
I'm
that for you.
not quite there yet. However, in the meantime, while I'm learning, can you send a message for me now?
I most certainly can.
5 cents, please.
5 cents. It'll cost you a quarter.
Please deposit the appropriate amount of coins.
Yep. Shall this be a collect call?
Oh, sure,
Thank
why
you.
not his money? His family's got plenty of money.
It's a collect call. Okay, who's that from? Had a baby, it's a boy. Who am I sending?
I don't know if he goes by the same last name. I have it written down somewhere. I'm going to send a message to Gavian.
Oh yeah, Gavian. Yeah, he uses Trenson.
Okay, Gavian Trinson.
All right.
I'll give her any information that she needs.
That you have.
Description
I can
will
give her a
do.
description, pretty
Um,
detailed.
do you have anything from him? That's okay. Don't think too hard about it.
I don't think I do.
All right. Description should work. I should be able to do
I
this
don't
with
think he's ever given me anything. I've given him something.
All right. All right, what do I need to send to him? She'll get ready to cast the spell, and she will repeat, like, verbatim.
Nick says your sister's missing. Do you have any further information? You can assure your mother I will not tell him unless she wants me to.
He will begin to. It takes a moment. She gets a little startled. It just I don't. She just wasn't expecting such a quick response, really. But he responds back almost immediately. Forbidden to look, but the mother doesn't know. Disappeared from Niliesh. She's no longer there. That much I know.
Becoming a poet.
Right. Although I use the
Don't you
same
know?
word. That's what you get. Joy Vay's like, well, that's it. That's all he sent.
That's sufficient.
Very well. I do hope you find this person.
Oh, I'm sure we will. I just hope it doesn't cause a catastrophe.
I do hope not.
I think that's all I wanted to do.
All right. Joy gives you a nod and said, I'm here. Should you need me, give me some time on that scroll. I'll get it to you soon.
Thank you.
And you
I'll leave.
make your way back to the inn before anybody else wakes up.
Yeah, I'll go.
All
I'll
right.
go to the bar. I'll
All right.
start
You'll
eating
go to the
breakfast.
bar. All right. The rest of you begin to wake up, do your morning routines. And Forsyth.
See?
As you're coming out of sleep, you hear almost a whisper.
Okay.
It's Kosha.
Ah, I
Kosha
will.
Or is it?
speaks to you.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
where is it? It's Kosha. You hear her, but do you really hear her? It might just be in your head. You know, you might be receiving a message, but you're kind of coming out of sleep. So, but you hear Kosha. Kosha says, "Strange things are happening.
Kosha, I've
Under,
missed you. Where are you?
I'm in Thrice now. Things have turned up missing. Odd
Things,
things,
things such as.
random things. Um, and Gara's on the move."
I will pass that along to my friends, and I'll see if we can spare the time to do that. We are quite busy of late, but you are quite important to me. Therefore, I will attempt to sway a decision.
Well, we are on it, looking into it. Not really sure what they're up to, what she's up
Okay.
to. I'll keep you posted if I find out more.
I appreciate the information. I'm always willing to help.
I figured you should know.
In the meantime, if you remember Fix, his sister is missing. I believe you met her.
I don't know if she met her or not, to be honest.
I think didn't we take her to the Trinston house at one point?
We did.
Okay, then
Yes.
she probably did meet her. Okay,
Yeah.
so she will. The tall, pretty one, or the buff, short one?
I believe it's the rough, short one, ain't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tall, pretty one's on her way to
I,
Ephraim.
I remember who I didn't get along with. Yeah, it was the one I didn't like. Uh,
Okay.
if you hear tell or see her at all, please let me know. That way we can get back to his family on that.
I will do. I will keep my ears to the ground.
Okay. Appreciate that. Like I said, I miss you.
Miss you too.
Young love.
And she signs off. Breaker, breaker.
All right. And I will, at breakfast, pass that information along to everyone that things are amiss in thrice brain.
If she has anything to do with this,
You don't
Who?
know any of this.
No, Forsyth did share.
yeah,
He said he
Forsyth
shared.
shared.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like she's on our side of things, as I
No, Gira.
thought.
No,
Oh,
not
oh,
Kosha.
she who
If
must
Gira,
not be named.
yes, if she
He
who
who
must
must
not be
not.
named has anything to do with this, I
Kosha
will
is my
spend
friend.
my life finding inventive ways to end her life and have her resurrected and do it again, or healed to back to health and do it again.
Well,
But
we can just figure out what's going on first
Right.
and
In
cross
the
that
meantime,
bridge when we come to it.
if we can plan a trip to visit Kosha in the near future, that might help solve the problems she is seeing, and I owe it to her.
And she's back in Thrice.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
wonder if
she's working for the um for your guild, isn't she?
Uh-huh.
Or for your
yeah, she's working
order.
for working for the order.
Yeah.
I wonder if Erwin knows of anything, or if it's something that's not part of his purview. I'll
only
have
one
to
way to
ask.
find out.
Yeah, we're gonna need to take a trip to Thrice real soon.
Yep.
At least I'm going to, but not today because there are other things on offer today that are pressing.
Hmm.
This time Erwin comes downstairs. Orders some breakfast. Comes over to the table. Good morning.
Well, it is morning. Good is a relative term.
I've had
Fair.
better.
Fair.
Forsyth will quickly finish his breakfast and he's going to say, I mentioned I had something to do. I'm going to go do that now. I shall see you this afternoon.
Very well.
And he's going to go take up his perch in the tree.
All right. Erwin kind of looks at the rest of you. So, Kadeth, when can we go to the library?
Soon. There is something relatively pressing that I need to make sure
What
is
is it?
taken care of first. I don't think I mentioned to you about the three that were obviously, although hiding it well, unhappy about the recent changes here.
Well, those can often be turned around, or
That is my hope.
especially if they don't have a big group, or
Or
depending on
legs, or kneecaps.
feeling a little salty this morning.
Well, his sister's missing.
Oh dear.
And once more, I've been forbidden from looking for her, or at least going to where she may be.
He was advised to emulate my dedication to my cause by his mother.
Interesting.
Yes, I thought so.
I figured she'd just want chaos to ensue.
I have started to revise my thoughts on her these last couple months. She's surprised me with a few things.
There is a bit of concern. Perhaps she is just concerned for her own. She does not yet know anything and therefore is not comfortable allowing others of her family to pursue when she has no knowledge.
Yeah, but I think she realizes that we aren't going to let that situation lie dormant for long, one way or another.
This is true. Does beg to question if the two are connected.
The two what?
That and
Kosha, you can see him he's debating in his head how much he wants to share. He's, we have recently come across some information thanks to Kosha and her connections. Some strange things have been going on, and from her underground connections, she has learned that Lady Guerra seems to be at the heart of some of these strange things. I
we had just heard something about this, that there are many things that have gone missing.
Yes, things have gone missing from our order.
Osha
Uh,
managed to reach out to Forsyth this morning.
oh, good. I wonder who she used to do that.
I'm not
I
sure,
don't
but I
believe
know she
Kosha
has
has that
plenty of.
ability.
No, but she has plenty of connections, so
Oh, this is true.
hopefully it's someone she can trust.
I do hope so. I have. There have been some things that are missing from our order. There have been some things that I have heard has turned up missing from the Trinson estate. I have heard of some things that have been missing from the Forge estate.
Well,
I have
sounds
put Kosha and Elijah on digging for this information.
like someone may be looking to affect our little group directly.
Yes.
Might
Which,
be looking for revenge of sorts.
yes, possibly. She could be gearing up for something.
Mm.
Mm.
Well,
What
Well,
things are missing?
I have heard through the grapevine, Kosha has found a chain um, that is believed to possibly have been Gidness. Um, Kosha found it through her underground connections. Apparently, it was being passed through the black market and came upon her hands.
Was this a was there an amulet on this chain?
Um, I believe so. Was it a wing? No, a dagger. I was thinking of Raven Queen. It was a dagger, I believe. Was
A
it not?
jagged dagger? Jewel encrusted?
Um, I, yeah, yeah. Do you? you know of this chain.
I know that my sister would not lose such a thing like at all.
I think Thrice may be our next stop once we're finished here.
Interesting.
Are we all sitting at a table together?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
assume so.
Except
Every-
me.
Forsyth
Everybody
Every-
but Forsyth. Forsyth said, "Here's the information. I got something to do. I'll be back."
He's almost an adult. You know, you can let him off by himself.
Sometimes. Yeah. I do believe it had a jagged dagger. I'm sure it was jewel encrusted. That's like the only. I don't know why there would be a plain chain or pendant that would pass through the underground like that. Typically, plain things don't pass through. They just get dumped somewhere. But Kosh is pretty sure it ended up in the hands of Gera.
Where did it come from?
What possibly could she have from my family? What would be missing from my family?
I believe if I recall correctly, Kosha took a very vested interest in this. Probably for obvious reasons. You helped her out of quite a pickle. She spoke with one of your brothers. Forge family is so big. As big as the Trinson family, to be honest.
Would it have been
Edric?
Edric? Yep.
Edric.
My brother.
Yes. She spoke with Edric. Apparently, a very sentimental boomerang turned up
Beef
missing.
rat.
And it hasn't come back.
It has not come back. It has gone off and it hasn't come back yet. It was a defective boomerang. I'm sorry.
You have to call a boomerang that doesn't come back, right? A stick.
A stick, yeah.
This necklace. My boomerang. What's missing from the order?
From the order, there is a. I noticed it missing. I assumed I just misplaced it. However, given in light of things, I'm pretty sure it's the item that's truly connects. I have this leather pouch. It's a little bit more like a backpack to me, being my stature and all. But it's perfect for a infantile Goliath, of which I have used on a number of occasions for other things, but it was this used much like a papoose when I brought Kadeth back from the mountains.
Interesting. So she's collecting things that have special
Sentimental
significance to
value.
each of us. Yeah, sentimental value to each of us. Is there anything that we know that she's taken that might relate to Forsyth?
Kosha.
Forsyth doesn't have any sentiment.
I think she already tried that one. Now, if she should try again, Kosha may be in danger.
Although Kosha has much more understanding of situations and a lot more backup at this point than she previously did.
That she does.
So did my sister, Kadath.
True,
You've seen
She
my
is
sister.
true.
she has gathered things that connect us and our special people.
Yeah.
I haven't shared much about my family, but Ederic and I were always very close. And that boomerang was what we played with as children.
Mm.
Erwin, are you practiced in the arts?
Which arts?
The magical ones.
I mean, more of the divine nature as opposed to the arcane.
Yes.
But yeah,
Is there any magic or spells that you can think of that would call for these as foci or something of this nature?
I
She
mean,
was after a blood ritual item before.
yes, for Elijah. Very interesting. That is what we got back when we got Kosha.
Correct.
No,
And we
we don't
kept her.
have it.
It is safe.
Okay.
And she was after a basin. I forgot what the actual name was. Um, that was used in blood magic as well.
But that's safe also, as far as we know.
Yes, but she seems to have a motif.
Yeah. And maybe she's taking a different tactic or going for
I
a different spell.
I do know that items that can be connected to you do make it easier for things such as teleportation, scrying, sending, things of that nature. Um, that usually requires items from the place or the person. As far as anything else, I mean, there may be some kind of power to them for something such as domination, compulsion. Um, but again, I think that's more of an arcane thing as opposed to divine.
I look to Evangeline. What has your reading told you?
Can I roll an Arcana check to see if
Sure.
I've. Okay, that'll work. That is a 26.
A 26. You thinking of reasons why she would have these items?
Yeah.
Okay. Far as you can recall through your studies, these items, items that hold sentimental value, not just flippant items that you've touched necessarily, but items that actually hold sentimental value has a little bit of energy or essence to them that can often be used in spells relating to that person or place, making them more powerful to connect, such as or when in what's the word I'm looking
For
for?
instance,
For instance, the sending the message, the teleportation, the things that are directly related to specific persons, scrying. It's very possible that having an item that is imbued with that sentimental energy could scry on you, and you may never even know it because it becomes that powerful. Um, Also, those sentimental values, if you can put that energy into things like domination and compulsion, it does actually enhance the ability or increase the DC per se, mechanically saying, um, against those type of things. Like it becomes harder to resist those type of things because they hold sway over some piece of energy, of your energy, how little it might be, does aid in that effect.
My sister's pendant does not hold sentimental value to me.
yes,
You don't know that.
but she does.
Yeah, your sister does.
She does. But why would Gira track down the pendant in the black market?
Oh,
Well,
I shouldn't
I
be
guess
there.
unless it was to utilize it to control my sister.
she
Baiting her.
seems to have gotten things that will allow her to get to the people we care about more than us.
In the case of the boomerang, it could be either. I'm going to look at Kadeth and tell him I'm about to break a promise.
Well,
Dun,
how
dun,
about
dun.
how about this? Let's try and finish the business that we have here as quickly as we can today. And no later than tomorrow, go to Thrice and start figuring things out.
I think we should finish here as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
With that, as you guys are kind of finishing up this conversation, and on a little bit of a solemn note, you see a lovely young woman walk into the owl's nest. She turns. She says, Kofik, it is good to see you, brother.
I guess my question is, would I be facing away from the door?
That's up to you. Because somebody in your group is gonna see this woman walk
Right.
in. They're gonna see Lillian walk in. So it's up to you whether or not you see it or you just hear it.
Probably wouldn't be facing away from the door, honestly. At this point, he is very
You're a little on
riled up.
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will put on as much of a smile as he can and say, Lillian, good to see you. He'd get up and he'd go and give her a hug.
Lillian will be taken back just a little bit and return the hug after a moment of shock. Okay. Uh, and that is where we're going to finish for tonight because it is almost 10 o'clock my time. So, Lillian has arrived. and you guys are ready to get some things taken care of in Ephraimon. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching, those of you who are watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you know when we're live next week. And check out our website at dndaddjokes.com where you can find our other social media links. And leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know that you're watching. And we'll read those. And we will see you next week.